Okay, I'm going to take you through how to use the screen itself now. There have been a few changes since the previous version, but I think it's still incredibly intuitive. If anything, I would say it's easier to use now than it was previously. So first thing, as always with Examscreen, is to put it into full screen mode, this time by clicking this full screen button over here. Okay, the new Examscreen effectively has two settings. It has an edit setting and then a saved setting. So at the moment, I'm in the edit setting. So this is where you add the exams to the screen. So the exams that appear in this drop down are the ones that are being taken from the exam catalog in your account settings. So I've got two exams specified for today: Year 10 Religious Studies and Year 10 French. So your invigilator will be able to choose between those two exams. If I just start by putting in one of those exams, Year 10 Religious Studies, you'll see that it's put the timing in for it. You then have a couple of options of things that you can do with that exam. You can add an alternative start time. If you have clash exams, then having the ability to add an alternative start time is really useful. If you have an exam that starts, say, in the middle of a session, so most of your exams are starting at 9, and then you've got a clash that starts at like 10:30, then you can add an alternative start time. But the main thing you're probably going to be wanting to add is extra time. So if you click on the plus sign here by extra time, it presents you with this slider. It defaults to 25%, but you can move it up and down and allocate different amounts of extra time. So I'm just going to add 25% to this exam. It tells you how much that is in relation to the timing of the exam, so you can obviously then double check that. Now the start time has now shifted up to the top of the screen. You can either put that in here in the edit screen, or you can wait until you've gone into the save screen. It probably makes more sense to wait until you've gone into the save screen, because you're probably going to want to resize the text and all sorts of things like that. So you probably want to wait. And obviously you don't know what time you're going to start. You might start, at 9 o'clock, but you might start at 2 minutes past. So it's better to do it when you've got through to the saved screen. I'll just add the other exam as well, so you can see two exams on the screen. So if I save that, then it pulls it through to the main screen like that. With the Examscreen, it orders on the length of the exam, so the shortest exam goes at the top. If when a short exam is finished, you want to delete it, you can go back into edit mode and you can just delete it there by clicking on the cross button. So I'm going to put a start time in now. It's 9 o'clock. You can see the finish times are calculated automatically. It also shows the start time of the exam. And then you can expand the text and make it as big as you want to. So you can get it really, really nice and big. Okay, like that. So that's really, really clear for the students. And I think one of the key bits of feedback from the previous version of Examscreen was that the text could be much clearer and bolder and less tight than it was in the past. So really worked on improving that. Okay, so that's the basics of how it works. Here you've got a resources tab. You can show your custom instructions poster. You can show the invigilator instructions video. We'll also be adding posters to this in September, so you can show exam posters from different exam boards if you want to do that as well, just to remind students of regulations. There's only really one more thing to show you on the screen, which is that we haven't taken away the ability to add exams manually. So I'm just going to add an extra exam and call this mock exam. The only thing you just got to be careful of this now is where it says manually add mock exam. You just click on that, and then you can enter the timing that you want for that exam, and you'll see that shows on the screen as well, like that. Okay. Final thing, if you've only got one exam, there's an alternative view called the single exam view. It looks like this. It's just a different way of presenting it. If it's something you like or your students like, then it might be something that you'd like to use. Just trying to give users different options, students different options for the way it's presented. But that will obviously only work where you've got one exam to show.